Hi everybody, I just wanted to do a quick share of my second junk journal that I've done for my sister-in-law as a Christmas present. And I'm calling it an encouragement journal because she's had a little bit of a rough year and I just wanted to do this for her. And so go ahead and start and just get through this real quick because it's actually Christmas Day. My son's going to be waking up soon for presents. But the cover, I used My Mind's Eye, the Lost and Found Market Street Adore Flyaway paper. And I had seen somebody on Facebook use this. I think it was Finest for somebody else. And I loved the paper and I thought, oh, I want to do something with that. So this is my version of that. And some of the same paper for the back and same collection for the back of the cover. And I just used an old antique button that I'd found somewhere and put some bling on there. And so most of the theme of the journal is going to be about flying and spreading your wings and flying. The papers, just real quick, that I used are the Colorbach Flea Market collection. Well, these are the flowers. I used a lot of the flowers and doilies out of this. The Colorbach Flea Market flowers. And then the Colorbach Rosewood. And then the Colorbach Homespun Signature Collection. Okay, let's get started. Okay, on the inside I used some of the same collection, My Mind's Eye, to do the inside of both the front and the back. And there's a little tuck spot here and a pocket on this side where she can put something. And I used a lot of doilies, and so I just did a little tuck spot with the doily here. And this is a little pocket here I made out of some roses. I like to clip things out of magazines, and I just used some roses out of a magazine and made a little tuck spot. And it says, every possibility begins with the courage to imagine. And then some embossed paper here. And the quote here is, when you take a flower in your hands and really look at it, it is your world for a moment. Georgia O'Keeffe. And I found a book in the thrift store that was on Japanese architecture. And I love Japanese writing. It's just so beautiful. And so I cut a couple of those out and added them in. And I really love this page because I guess a lot of the colors in this are going to be pinks, reds, and greens. And this had pink and green on the paper, so I just went ahead and used it. The quote says, learn to write your hurts in the sand and carve your blessings in stone. And I just did a little paint technique on the inside. And I found some stickers in Hobby Lobby, and this one is Peace. And I just left several pages blank for her to do something on. And then this is some of the cutout papers from the collection on some vellum and a doily. And this, I don't know where I got this. I think it might be a chopstick holder. And I just stamped Think Happy, Be Happy, and then put a little bookmark in there for her on this side. And I dyed the bag, and it's got a real neat crinkly sound to it when you move it. And I used several paper punchers. This one is, I'm not sure, sorry guys. And then I've got some new stamps. So I did some stamping in here in some different areas. And this I found in the dollar store for teachers for their bulletin boards. And I thought that was really neat. A little stamp, create, and the definition. And this was a piece of paper out of one of my Somerset books. Somerset Life, maybe? I'm not sure. And I left the name on the back because I really liked what was called. The name of the paper was Always Stay Lovely, so I kept that in there. And this is some paper that I crinkled and hand dyed using some Wilton food coloring for cakes. I really like how that turned out. Added a little bit of lace. Another one of my magazine clipping collages. I thought that was fun with the estate in the background, and she's there in her chair being carried. Little journaling tag called Dream. And this is an old card I found in the thrift store, which I thought was beautiful and I wanted to put in. And I just did a little insert about her birthday, which is in June. So I found a book on the month of June, and I've just added some of the pages in here from that for her birthday. And the quote on the back says, "No one can go back and make a brand new start. Anyone can start from now and make a brand new ending." And here I was fortunate enough at a library sale to get several Somerset Life magazines for like $1. And out of this one, which is the July, August, September 2011 one, there was some photos in here, and I cut out her name so I could give her credit, by Karen Bogardus. And there will be one from a Tracy Lieber, and they were just so beautiful. I didn't want to keep them in the magazine. I wanted to use them. I wanted them to get out there. So I clipped them out, and there'll be several of her photos in here that I used because I just thought they were beautiful and they needed to be used. The quote here is, "Dance through life, not only with your feet, but with your heart." And she used to do some dancing and be a member of a dance team. And so I added several dance quotes in here for her. And this quote says, "I soon realized that no journey carries one far unless, as it extends into the world around us, it goes an equal distance into the world within." Lillian Smith. And I found in the thrift store these pockets, just clear plastic pockets, and I thought, oh, those are cool. So I used a lot of those in the journal, and I just made some tags. Sometimes I stamped on the actual pocket and just put a plain tag in for her to do something with, and sometimes the pocket's plain and then the tag is decorated. This quote says, "There is no one in this world quite like you." And this is the other end of the, I guess it's a chopstick holder with a heart paper clip. And I just put a bunch of goodies in here for her. A bunch of medallions and little stamped images and stuff for her to use in the journal. The other side of the vellum with some medallions I cut out with my little lace paper punch. And this is a new paper punch I have that I really like, and I was having fun with it. And then the word joy from the stamp collection, Japanese writing. More of the Japanese paper. And then this quote says, "I am still determined to be cheerful and happy in whatever situation I may be, for I have also learned from experience that the greater part of our happiness or misery depends upon our disposition and not upon our circumstances." Martha Washington. And this was in that same magazine, a little picture of girls dancing, and it just reminded me so much of my sister-in-law in the recitals they used to have. And the quote here says, "Life may not always be the party we hope for, but while we're here, we might as well dance." And that's the end of the first signature. There's 4 signatures that I've sewed in. And like my first one, I used the dental floss that I had found when I was cleaning out our new house. And it's really good. I really enjoy the dental floss. I think I might just continue using that. There's 4 different signatures. And so this starts the second one. And what I did when I was punching out the flowers from the Collerbach collection, the flea market collection, was I just cut around, you know, the inside punch, and then there was a little bit of the image on the outside, and I just cut around it again on each flower as I was sitting watching TV one day. And I really like those almost even better than the actual, I like the negative almost better than the positive shape of the flowers, so I've used those a lot in here. and another pocket. This tag, the little part of the tag, I bought in a store close to the town that I live in, and it's a little stamp artist, and she makes tags that she sells. Her name's Lisa, and so I have a couple of her tags in here that I've added. This one, the quote says, "Choose happiness." And my thrift store had a bunch of wallpaper for sale, and I've used some wallpaper in here because it was just beautiful. It was expensive wallpaper, and it was just beautiful, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna just put some wallpaper in because it's fun. So I've added some wallpaper, and here's another quote: "What we put out into the world by way of body language, smiles, gestures, you name it, sometimes gets read more than what we physically say." Jenny Horn. And that was just a quote from out of an article in the same Somerset Life magazine. And I really like that quote because, you know, it's so true. And then this is a little tag with a sticker on it that I made with some alcohol ink spray. And the quote over here is, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." Eleanor Roosevelt. Here's another one of the photos out of the Somerset Life magazine, which I thought was gorgeous. The quote says, "Deep in their roots, all flowers keep the light." And I really like that quote. And this is out of the book that I bought for her about the month of June. It just talks about the flowers for her birth month. And this is some paper that I hand dyed also using a vinegar technique that I had read about. And it just got some really neat swirls with the dyeing. The quote says, "It is okay to be kind to me." I think sometimes we're really hard on ourselves, and it's just a reminder that maybe we don't have to be quite so hard on ourselves. And then this is a sticker I bought that had a real pressed flower in the middle of it, so I cut a little window out so you could see front and back. I thought that was really a neat sticker. And see a doily. And this is some more paper that I made using just some watercolor, I think, and saran wrap to get that technique. And this was a little book I found called "I Can Fly," and it's illustrated by Dan Brett, one of my favorite children's books illustrators. And so I had to use it in here because of the theme. And it just says, "A bird can fly, so can I." And I just thought that was great, so I added it to her journal. And from the Birthday June book on birthstones, a little doily. I love doilies. I've used a lot of doilies. This is a fold out. I did a lot of magazine collage for this, and it was just out of a gardening magazine, and the title was Flight Plan. And I thought, okay, I've got to use that somehow. So I just used one of my stamps and put some birds up here flying. And I fussy cut out a little bench and then put that down and added the quote, "Dreams have wings." And then this is another picture out of the magazine. I thought was just so beautiful with the roses and the trellis. So I added that in. Another one of the pictures from out of the Somerset Life magazine, which I thought was so pretty. I just loved her pictures. Belly band with the quote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." And then another one of the pictures out of the magazine. And the quote says, "To be all that is possible, we must attempt the impossible. To be all that we can be, we must dream of being more." And these were just some of my favorite quotes that I keep around me a lot to remind me of where I want to go in my life. And a lot of what happens is a result of just me and my thinking. So I just added a lot of those sort of quotes in here as an encouragement for her. And this is the end of the second signature, and we're starting the third signature. And I found in the thrift store this red placemat plastic, and it was beautiful. It was like 10 cents or something, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna stick that in a journal. And so I cut it in half and I folded it and I put it in, and I really just love it. I love this placemat. I thought it was so pretty. And the quote here says, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us," Ralph Waldo Emerson, and some of the doily pieces from the flea market collection. Quote here says, "You are stronger than you seem, braver than you believe, and smarter than you think." Christopher Robin. I love that quote. And some more of the Japanese paper from the book that I just loved. It was just so graphically beautiful. I wanted to go ahead and put it in. The quote says, "Be sure you put your feet in the right place, then stand firm." Abraham Lincoln. And a heart doily that I have. And this I found in a thrift store. It's a children's writing paper pad, and it has a place at the top for you to draw a picture and then to write the story about the picture underneath. And I thought that was really cool paper, so I'm going to be adding that in a lot of the journals that I do. I've caught the journal bug and I just can't stop now. I just love it. And this is a photo that I found in a magazine again, and I love the smiley faces in the gumball machine, and I knew I had to put it in. It's a pocket. She can stick something in there. The quote says, "Never frown, because you never know who might be falling in love with your smile." And then I saw on YouTube a lot of people doing the jelly plate prints, and so I made my own jelly plate, and I've been working on some prints, and this is one of them that I did, and I thought it fit in with the insert for this next page, which is Alice in Wonderland. You know, it's her, she's reading a book and she falls down the rabbit hole, so I've got the ABCs, and then the trees, you know, she falls down by the tree, and I thought it was really fitting, so I added it here. And this is just a little insert with the Queen yelling at her, and then you open it up and it says, "When you find yourself in Wonderland, giggle and enjoy it." And I thought that was great, and so I just put some photo mat places in here in a couple different areas. And the quote says, "I could tell you my adventures beginning from this morning," said Alice a little timidly, "but it's no use going back to yesterday, because I was a different person then." From Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I really love that quote. And here's a little tag from a Mary Engelbreit book, I think. It just says, "Be warm inside and out." And I liked it, so I added it. And this reminded me so much of my sister-in-law. She's kind of a fun person. And this is something I thought she'd appreciate. I saw it in a magazine. It's a gelatin mold for a dog balloon. I thought that was so great. So I just paper clipped it in there so that she can take it out if she doesn't appreciate it. But I thought she'd get a laugh out of that. Some more from the Japanese book, and I added the stamp that says Goodwill, the sticker. And I saw this lady dancing and thought she was beautiful and wanted to add her in there from a magazine. It says, "Elegance is not to pass unnoticed, but to get to the very soul of what one is." Christian LaCroix, I believe, is the last name. And that's the end of the third signature, and we're down to the last signature. And I just added some butterflies to the front of this doily and made it into a tuck spot. And found these cards in the dollar store and thought they were beautiful, so I added it as a place for her to either journal or add photos. This quote says, "Gratitude is the greatest spirit feeder. God smiles down on those grateful at heart and multiplies their blessings and occasions to be grateful." Just a reminder to me to be grateful for what I do have, and as a favorite quote I added that in. And here's another little pocket that I made out of a picture of some flowers I found in the magazine. And the sticker for love. Little half pocket. This is a Martha Stewart stamp set for Christmas, which I used in all the journals. I think it looks good for just about any journal, not just Christmas. And here's another piece from a magazine, and then I added the paper here. It says, far away there in the sunshine are my highest aspirations. I may not reach them, but I can look up and see their beauty, believe in them, and try to follow where they lead. Louisa May Alcott. And this I found in an old children's book. It's a little quote, a poem called Happiness. What are you thinking of, my pretty maid? I'm thinking how happy I am, she said. And what is your happiness, my pretty maid? Oh, flowers and summer and sunshine, she said. And what will you do when the flowers are dead? I'll try to be happy without them, she said. And then I left the questions, and there's a page in the back about questions, a whole little section on flowers that went with it in the children's book, and I thought it was really fitting and nice. I used a lot of flowers in here and encouragement quotes and happiness quotes, and so I thought it really fit well. A little belly band out of a piece of wallpaper that I got at the thrift store, and I paper punched. A belly band here. And some paper I just misted with a homemade spray that I made. And this is a little insert here that has several different tuck spots. All these different areas pull up, and she can tuck something in them front and back. Belly band. This is a card from the artist I told you about in the town that I live close to that sells her work. I really like it, and I like to support other artists when I can. So I bought a couple of those to put in here. This is a tag that I made with a little rose I created that Jenny Belly showed in her video on journals, which originally inspired me to start all of this. And the other section of the children's book, it's just like vocabulary words and questions all about flowers. So I added that in. And this I wanted to try. This is the second time I've tried this technique where you lay a stencil or something down, in this case doilies, and you glimmer mist over top of it. And I haven't had a great deal of success. I need more practice with that. But I thought it was good enough to go ahead and stick in. So I did, and the quote on the little card says, "We have not journeyed all this way across the centuries, across the oceans, across the mountains, across the prairies, because we are made of sugar candy." Sir Winston Churchill. I like that quote. And this is, I cut out of a little book that I have. It says, "God has given us our memories that we might have roses in December." J.M. Barrie. And I really like that quote. It fit with the flowers, I thought. Piece of the Japanese book. The quote here says, "Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler." Albert Einstein. "Happiness is never something you get from other people. The happiness you feel is in direct proportion to the love you give." I like that quote. And then this is a card that reminded me of my sister-in-law when I saw it in the thrift store. This little girl and the dogs and the cat and the birds singing. I thought it was really cute and fun. So I added that in. And then my little sticker at the end says "Made by Sharon." And then we are done. So thanks for watching, guys. Please leave a comment and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. And happy journal making. Bye-bye.